So here is my book, Big Plans, and I'm going to show you all the different ways that you can use this book, how I like to fill it out, including some other extra ideas that I've got for you guys in case you want to get a little funky, add some color, and just have a little fun. So let's get into this. So when you open it up, this is one of the pages, or actually one of the spreads, starting off with your week and starting off with your days. And I'm just going to walk you through a week that I am going to be away, so I'm going to show you a variety of different ideas throughout these pages. So starting with the week, I typically like to just write all of my things that I have to do over here. And as I go through and I complete these tasks, I simply just put a check mark right beside it. So if the task is complete, I put a check mark beside it and I go down through, and let's say, hey, I didn't get to prep my content calendar, I will put an arrow right through that and I will put a check mark through that. Now let's say that I have one that I didn't complete, one that needs to just be knocked off my list. So let's say I had a client call that I had to prep for, but the client call actually got canceled and the client no longer wants to work with me. What I would do is I would just put an X here, and that is my key. So I do a check mark is complete, a line or an arrow through is moving forward to next week, and an X means that it's canceled. Over on the left-hand side, what I like to do is I like to mark the week that I am currently using. So I like to mark the week with a little bit of color, have a little bit of fun. I put the date right up top, and then I go in with the week's plan. So for this week, I'm at the lake all week, but if I have meetings, I'm going to put that here too. So let me write down a few fake meetings for you. So that's all you would do, is just write your meetings there. There's a lot of room for space, but I want to write big to make sure you guys can see it. And then what's up next week? So actually it's going to be the end of the month for me, so I'm just going to put what's up next week. Since next week is actually the last week in June, I need to prep for July, but I also need to wrap up my second quarter, because my second quarter actually ends on the 29th. So I need to do that before the 29th preferably. And then I also need to map up my third quarter, because obviously second quarter's ending, gotta wrap up the third quarter, or start the third quarter. Other things to complete, typically I like to put in here that like either I have to like clean the house, or take care of another dog, because we typically have to do that, or like a variety of different things. But typically it's clean the house, do my laundry, other things like that. Stuff that's not typically that I do every single week anyways. Cleaning the house, yes, I do every single week, but it's some specific tasks that I do not do, like deep cleaning. So that's on there as well. Then for the intention on the bottom, I like to set a weekly intention. It's up to you what you're doing. This is actually part of my 30 days of intention. So my intention for the week is a little goofy, and I'm just gonna put be intentional there as my intention. And that is it when it comes to wrapping up my first weekly review and what I have to do for the week. Then I would move over to the next page and say, okay, it's Monday. What do I want to get done this week? Well, today is focus on big picture plans. So what on my to-do list is focus on my big picture plans? Well, my content calendar. So I can say, and I understand what that means because obviously I use this all the time, so prepping my content calendar is what that means. I'm going to say my time limit is only 1 hour. I'm going to say that this is worth $30 of my time, and as I go, I'm going to start filling this out. So as I start working on it, I'm going to mark that this project has been started just by filling in half of the square. That's how I mark that the project has been started. Then I will move and I will fill in the circles. Each of these circles is 30 minutes. So let's say I only spent 30 minutes on this project, and you know what? The project is complete. I'm going to finish it, fill it out. Then at the end of the day, this monetary value is going to go down here when I tally it all up, but I'll show you guys what a full day would look like. Let me fill it out. So here are all my tasks that I did today. End of day, this is what it would look like just for the top portion. So I ended up prepping my content calendar. It only took a half hour and I allotted myself an hour, so that's actually pretty good. For my client call ended up being canceled, like I already showed you over here. So I just put an X through it and say, hey, we didn't get to work on that today. Not a big deal. And the last one is contact a manager. And when this goes down, there's a lot of work that ends up resulting from it, a lot more than originally planned. But I allotted for 4 hours of time because I knew that some things were gonna pop up. So I fill fill that out saying I did 4 full hours of work on this, and then I put a little note over here that just said, ended up with a lot of work, we'll finish it tomorrow. If I run out of time or if I hit my time limit, I know that I have worked way too long on a project. A project should not take more than 4 hours. If it is taking more than 4 hours, then it needs to be broken down into mini projects. That's why over here I didn't say 1 blog post, I wrote write 1 blog post, because then I need to also edit it and do all those other tasks that I could have put on my to-do list, but I decided not to just because maybe this blog post isn't going live this week, so it's not that big of a deal. So that's how I would fill this out. Then at the bottom you gotta add up all your time. So how much time did I spend on a 10-hour tasks? No time. How much time did I spend on a $30 task? I spent a half hour, so I'm gonna put half there. How long did I spend on a $150 task? That would be 4 hours, and I didn't work on anything that is 500 or above. So I'm gonna just draw lines through this, and then I'm gonna do the math. So what you have to do is multiply the hours versus the monetary value, and that is how much money you would have earned or the value of your time for that specific task. So then I'm going to do 4 times 150, and that is, can you do the math? 600, and then we're gonna write in 615 there, and that is the monetary value of my time. My goal for each of my days is to get over a $400 value. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. You have to set the monetary value that you would like to hit on a daily basis and strive to reach that. Now it's time for a little bit of fun, because this is pretty straightforward in here when it comes to filling out your tasks, your theme for the day, the date. I mean, all this stuff is normal. Today's plans, you can write whatever you have. So like today, I would say that I have that meeting that we put over there, so we would put meeting at 1 p.m. and I'm just going to say that that ended up working out, so I'm going to check that off the list. And that is all you do for this section and down here. Now when it comes to tracking your time, this is actually one of my favorite sections in the whole entire journal, and I know it's silly because it's that big. I mean, it is so small, but I absolutely love it. And what I like to do is I pick a few colors that mean different things for my time. So I'm going to start with blue, and blue actually means when I am sleeping. For me, that is my color choice. So when it comes to my sleep schedule, I'm going to say that I slept in until 6 o'clock. Didn't really sleep in that late, which is great for me, but then yellow for me is personal time. So then I decided to get up, I meditated, I read, I did my normal routine, I worked out, I did all that, and you know what? I ended up not even getting to work until 10 o'clock, which is actually my preferred time of getting to work. So I'm gonna put this away and I'm gonna say, okay, I got to work at 10 o'clock, and I'm going to mark my time as the day goes on, how much work I'm getting done. So I'm going to say that I worked from here until about 12:30, because you know what happens? I have my client meeting today at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to mark off 1 o'clock saying it's busy, and I do any meetings, anything like that in orange because it's really noticeable. It's a little bit obnoxious and it's like in my face, so I never miss a meeting, which is important. So right before the meeting, I'm gonna say I took a half hour to myself. After the meeting, I ended up taking a lot of time to myself, and I wasn't able to get back to work until 4 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, I'm just gonna fill this out the rest of the way. We worked until about there. That would be our 4.5 hours that we worked today. And then I took some time to myself, and by 10 o'clock, I was back asleep again. And that is how I like to track my time. There are a variety of different ways that you can do it, and I'm actually gonna show you another way right now. So this is another page right here. I'm actually not gonna use any of the colors because I'm just gonna do it. Let's say you didn't have cool pens like this, non-bleed, colorful pens, and you just still wanna track your time in a sense. So let's say you have a meeting from 1 and you know it's gonna take 2 hours. What you can do is block off your time like that, either 2 brackets, and that's gonna block you from 1 to 3 o'clock, or you can fill it out and just make a little square and you know you're busy. And then you don't have to track your time, you don't have to track your sleep, you don't have to track what time you're working and all that stuff. What you can do is still track and mark off when you are booked, because that is extremely important if you don't wanna miss any important meetings. Now, let's jump over here and I wanna talk about the daily review. So I use the daily review as a way to kind of like track my mood. I mean, it obviously has mental focus, emotional energy, physical energy, and health impact. All of those things reflect in my work ethic for the day. So today, I was only able to work 4.5 hours, but that's because I also had a client meeting and I took some time off in the middle of the day. Maybe I needed that, but it depends. Let's say I only worked 2 hours and my mental focus was terrible, my emotional energy was terrible, my physical energy was terrible, and my health impact was terrible. I would say, you know what? The way I am treating myself and the mood that I am in is directly related to my work ethic for the day. Maybe I need to find ways to improve it. So today I would say is a pretty good day, and I'm gonna show you one way that I like to fill this out. So this is the first way you can fill it out. You can just do little bars across. I like to use a ruler when I fill it out, and then I just do it straight across and I write the number that I think I got for the day. But I'm going to say, hey, that's a little bit boring. I want to add a pop of color because this is a black and white journal. So let's add a little bit of fun, and I'm just gonna pick from the colors that are already right here. And I'm just gonna draw some lines across and make it a little bit more exciting and enjoyable to look at. You can also use colored pencils or crayons. I mean, it's not a lot of space for crayons, and who uses crayons these days other than toddlers, to color these in and have a little bit of fun with them if you want to, but I just like to do little dashes with my non-bleed pens that I have right here. And that is how I add a little pop of color in this section. Now, there are other ways that you can fill this out as well, so let me show you some of those. So here's another example of what you can do. This one is a little bit boring to me, but if you want to keep it very simple, you can go ahead and you can just draw an arrow straight through to the number you think you got. Another example of what you can do, just to have a little bit of fun and add even more color, is to kind of just fill it out, going across like this in a little zigzag form until you get to where you want to go. And then you have a cute little, kind of like, I don't know what you would call this. To me it looks like a heart monitor type thing going across, but that's a little way to have a little bit of fun. And then my last idea for you guys when it comes to filling these out, I'm actually going to jump over to the other side and I'm going to show you over here, is you can do it in like little bubbles or perfect square forms. So that's up to you. I'm going to show you two options here. So that is how the little circles would work. You would just do little circles the whole way across, and you can fill them in again, add some color, or you can do perfect little squares, which I'm going to show you with some color. So let's choose orange. Or you could do it something like that, going the whole way across. I mean, it's really up to you. I'm going to add some color in these just to make them a little bit more fun. But there are a variety of different ways that you could fill out this section. All you need to know is that this is just to help you track your mood and what's going on with your day that's going to affect your work ethic. Now, you may be wondering what this brain dump section is over here. This is actually used to track all of your ideas. But when you come up with your ideas, you're just supposed to write them down here, scribble them out, and then at the end of the week, go back through, see what ideas you actually want to move forward with and what ones you don't. So I had an idea in the shower today that I'm just going to scribble down just for fun. So that's how I would use this section. It kind of just turns into like a scribbly little note section. So I have two ideas that I put there. This one I definitely want to implement in the future, so I put a little star beside it so I know. And that's how I would fill out this page. Now, I've got a few other ideas for you guys on how you can make this a little bit more fun. So let's say you wanted to add more color. There is a lot of opportunity for color within these pages because I just made them black and white. So let's say today I'm gonna have a little bit of fun and I'm going to add color to my different sections. And there we go, I just added a little bit of color. It's as easy as that. And then if you want to, this is a little extra thing, if you want to on your daily value section, if you do a great job or if you do an okay job or if you do a bad job, you can do it based on the color. So today I think I did a good job. I made a lot of money, so I'm gonna fill this out and I'm gonna add a little fun color there. And then I can go back through on my days and I can see what days I had red, what days I had yellow, and what days I had green. Look back at my daily review, see my work ethic in the morning or in the daily tracker, and kind of relate it all back. You will start to learn a lot about yourself. Now I'm going to flip to the end to the weekly review and clean it up at the same time as well. At the end of your weekly review, you write your weekly wins, your lessons learned, your incomplete projects, and your projects for next week. Now this is pretty straightforward and I'm actually not going to fill this out because honestly I think you can figure this out. Now when it comes to your beginning monthly spread, I will show you mine, what I've got going on right now, and my habit tracker because I am obsessed with my habit tracker. So this is my June beginning spread, and what I have here is I just filled out the calendar with all of the dates starting at the very beginning, going through, making it look like the month of June. Then I go in and I write all the important things that I have going on, such as my vacation to the lake. I added a little color there just for fun, and then I do my plans for the month, so meetings, anything else I have scheduled. I do my main goals, so this month my focus is on intention. That is my theme, and I set a few goals for myself, so I put my goals here so that I set them as a reminder every single day. Again, you can add some color to this, so I'm going to add some color to this just to have a little bit of fun, and I'll see you once that's done. So it isn't perfect because I did it fast, but there's a little pop of color, a little bit of fun, and now we're going to move to the habit tracker because this is my absolute favorite part. And now I'm behind on a few days, so I'm actually going to walk you through how I fill this out going through my habit tracker. But what I like to do is I like to fill these out with just different habits that I want to track. So this month I included different habits I wanted to track within my goals for this month. So typically I usually do meditation, journal, exercise, 8 hours of sleep, Instagram stories, and just a variety of different things. But for this month I also added no YouTube videos. I also added whether I post a blog post or not, because I just like to kind of keep some of these in here. But you can include whatever habits you want to track. I mean, that's really up to you. These are just some of the ideas that I have for you guys and what I track myself. So I'm going to go through, and every day that I do meditation, I'm going to color it in with blue. So today is actually the 11th. The day I'm shooting this is the 11th, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this in and say, heck yes, I did meditate today. And you know what? I'm pretty sure I meditated this day, and I also meditated on Friday, but I definitely know that I did not meditate on Sunday. So that's how far behind I am, guys. It's okay. And then I go through with just a variety of different colors to add a little bit of fun. So I'm just gonna go through and fill this out for you guys just so you can watch me do my thing. And that is exactly how I fill out my habit tracker. That's how I would recommend you guys do it too. Again, if you do not have any fun colors you would like to use, you can always just use a pen and scribble them in and fill them out. And then the last little tip I want to give you guys on how you can use this is to get a cute little paper clip to use as your bookmark. You can either use a bookmark or a paper clip. I like using a paper clip because this guy's a little cute. It's just like a little triangle, little V, and it just like flirts it up a little bit. So get one of those, I highly recommend. And that is how I use my planner, Big Plans. And if you have any other questions, or if you have any other ideas that you would like to share with the community so that other people that have this book can get the most out of it, please share them in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys back here in another video.